Hey, this is Mr. Mitchell with another video. You know, in our book we had mentioned that France has more socialism in their country, and I think it'd be a good time to kind of point out the differences between socialism and capitalism. Socialism is on one end of the spectrum and capitalism is at the other, and it all has to do about the role of government. Let's take a look at what socialism is in general. Socialistic government, kind of like France, you would have the government run the businesses. Now, that's not going to be 100% true in France, but more so than it would be in other countries, where the government would run the businesses. Any car companies, any paper companies, just pretty much any company would not be run by a private individual. It'd be run by the government. And one of the big aspects of socialism is this next one. Money is spread out equally. Doesn't matter whether you're a doctor, whether you're a teacher, whether you're in religion, what your job is would have more of an even spread of the money. You make about as much as other people do. What that creates is you really shouldn't have any poor people and you really shouldn't have any rich people because it all is spread out equally. Now, critics of socialism would say that if you don't have an incentive to create things, to be, say, the best doctor in the whole class, to be the best electrician in the whole class, if there's no incentive like money, then you're not going to have as talented a people. If everybody got paid as much as doctors might not want to work as hard just because they don't get paid as much. In a society that is not socialistic, you're going to have probably the better inventors, probably the better things that are at the top of the money scale, because the money drives people to be a better doctor, to be a better inventor, and things such as that. And that's one of the critics would say about socialism. Pardon me. On the other end of the scale is capitalism. Capitalism, you'll find that it sounds just like the opposite of socialism. In a pure capitalistic society, it would not be the government that runs the businesses, it would be individuals. Like you and me, we could run our own business if we wanted to in a capitalistic economy, a society. Money in a capitalistic society goes to those who earn the most, and the people who were critics of socialism would promote capitalism. If you want to be making a lot of money as a doctor, as an actor, whatever, you have to excel and find ways to earn it, which of course is going to leave some people poor, and it's going to leave some people rich. And of course, you can imagine what critics would say. Critics would say, well, you have poor people who tend to stay poor, that they would not have much ability to get out of their situation, and that it would be better to help the poor people instead of just let them not earn as much money. So, kind of the question is, what are we here in the United States? In the United States, we are neither fully socialistic or fully capitalistic, but we do lean toward the capitalism side. We are more capitalistic than socialistic, and you can probably guess from here. Usually it is the individuals that run businesses unless there's a government bailout. Here we do have some poor people and some rich people, because those who earn the most, well, I mean, people are kind of up to their own for earning their money. However, we do have a few aspects of socialism in the United States. In fact, probably more than you might think. The government does end up doing a lot. The government controls everything from, well, the food you ate for this morning at breakfast. The food has to be inspected by the USDA, which is a branch of the government. The time that your alarm clock said this morning was set by a government standard whenever we broke down the globe into 24 time zones. It was a government issue that did that. Uh, the hairspray you used this morning has to meet government standards. Even if you are a fisherman, sometimes the fish that you fish for are put in by a government stocking program. There are just so many ways that the government does play a part in our lives, but we are not quite socialistic. So you may see how this applies to our two political parties. We have Democratic Party and Republican Party. Generally, the Democratic Party is a little bit more socialist. Now, most everybody in the Democratic Party now would not say, let's go to a completely socialistic society, but they would be in favor of more government programs to have fewer poor people, to have, well, I guess fewer poor people would kind of be the incentive there. They would be in favor of having more spread out of the wealth. They would be more in favor of a government running a business if the business has fallen a little bit. The Republican Party is a little bit more capitalistic. Though in our society we are not ever going to be truly capitalistic, they would be the ones that would say more individuals should run the government, that the government should be hands off. They would be the ones that would say that if you earn it, you should have the right to have more money. So I guess a lot of people in this election year will vote depending on how they see the role of government. And for make a long story short, Democrat would allow more government control and more programs to spread the money out more equally. Republicans would be more in favor of less government control, and whoever can rightfully earn the most would make the most. And I guess whichever side your family sides on would probably be from that general difference right there. Let's see. Well, what do you know? I do not have any questions for this one. Well, I guess you just get lucky on this one. So instead of writing down questions, just say, well, just write down your name, and whenever I come check your homework, you can tell me whether you saw it or not. Hope you learned a little bit about socialism versus capitalism.